Coming from the auto sector, Tata Motors CEO Guenter Butschek says the industry needs an inclusive policy and not shifting of goalposts. Speaking to CNBC-TV18's Parikshit Luthra from the sidelines of the Siam Annual Convention in New Delhi, he talks about company's focus shifting to retail sales as well as the turnaround plan for the company. Listen in.
As far as the turnaround plan and the transition to BS6 goes, how soon can we expect the transition to BS6, and when do you see growth returning to the industry?
Let's assume that in the second half of the year you will actually see from the house of Tata Motors predominantly in PV some first BS6 applications. So it's not going to be back-to-back the 1st of April. It's actually going to come earlier. But it's a very cautious approach for two reasons. First of all, some applications, diesel applications dependent on technology, need BS6 compliant fuel, and at this point of time we don't know is it going to be available as demanded and requested by Siam, raised as a concern to the government, raised as a concern to the petrochemical industry, saying we actually need it as early as possible. We would appreciate the 1st of Jan for a smooth transition in the fourth quarter. It currently looks like the 1st of February. Doesn't matter. This is an important date because for the applications where we need BS6 compliant fuel, like for example an LNT based diesel engine, it's required that it is available.
About the policy environment in India, has that impacted Tata Motors to a great extent? Would you want policy clarity going forward?
I mentioned it several times. I think there was a consistent theme in all of my opportunities to speak at the annual Siam convention, where I said we need clarity, we need clarity. Today I actually put it in a different phase. We need an inclusive approach. All parties need to be brought to the table. All different positions need to be heard. Constraints need to be discussed and were required to be accepted. And then we need to translate it into a mutually agreed game plan. And then we get to the sustainability of my IST approach, because sustainability means, and then we need to have a rigor in execution and then a rigor in the plan. Because the last thing you actually need in our environment is you have a plan, you start executing it, and all of a sudden the goalpost shifts. And this is something which we need to prevent, and where I do think there is lots of headroom as far as the role of Siam is concerned, to really create one voice as an industry. And there's lots of room for improvement as far as the dialogue with the government is concerned, in order to really get this mutual agreement jointly acknowledging that we are willing to invest. We have the ability to invest, but we need focus on what we invest and how we actually drive the development of the industry in the context of all of the challenges, while at the same point of time we honor our commitment to build the nation and to contribute to the economical development of India. Because we have a significant impact.
Now, talking about the global business, it is being reported that the global business of Tata Motors is also affecting the brand, especially what's happening in China, what's happening in US and UK. How do you think these markets are going to fare in the next few months? Especially the China market to start with.
You know, normally I don't comment on Jaguar Land Rover, because that's the way the roles have distributed, but since it has already been officially mentioned, we have seen a significant growth year over year in the months of July. I'm not quite sure if, I must admit, I haven't seen it because I had been traveling, if the August figures have already been reported, but it seems that there is a kind of recovery in China. But as we see recovery in China, we have a question mark on what is going to happen in the UK, because 24 hours ago, the Brexit scenario looked different than it might look today. So therefore, let's actually park this question or review it on a daily basis as we actually learn more about the geopolitical and economical developments.
You know, we read a report from S&P and which said that continued cash burn at JLR is hurting the company's financials. How would you respond to that?
We have responded to it already. Means Jaguar Land Rover has responded to it, because cash has been declared king. Cash has been declared one of the key metrics to be improved as part of the ongoing turnaround initiative called Charge. And so far, Jaguar Land Rover, by everything you have seen, is delivering on its commitments. And therefore, I think Jaguar Land Rover is well on track with its turnaround.
All right, so that was about Tata Motors, but we move on with 3 lakh home buyers awaiting possession of projects that are yet to be completed due to several issues. The government has hinted at some potential relief. Sources say the Finance Ministry is still finalizing a relief package. On Monday, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman held an inter-ministerial meeting along with real estate stakeholders. Timsy is here with us with the updates. Timsy, what are you picking up?
Well, what we understand from government officials is that Finance Ministry is yet to finalize measures to give relief to home buyers and real estate sector. Rather, government officials say that the proposal has again gone back to the drawing board. Government is assessing what all can be included in the relief measures. Remember, FM on Monday, that is 2nd of September, she held an interministerial stakeholders consultations also to see what all can be packaged together when it comes to give relief to home buyers and real estate sector. Representatives from Urban Development Ministry, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, TFS, DEA, etc. met FM as a process of the interministerial discussions, trying to see what else can be included. As we speak now, the discussions are still underway. Measures for real estate sector could include a stressed asset fund to finish the stuck projects. Finance Ministry is exploring whether the fund should be under NIF or NBCC or Urban Development Ministry. What should be the quantum of this fund? What should be the money that this fund should have as an immediate solution to at least some of the stuck projects. Remember, there are about 2.69 lakh stuck home buyers which are seeking relief from the government. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had categorically said that she will come back on the next set of measures once the proposal is ready after detailed discussions. So as we speak today, discussions are still on. There were certain hopes that the proposal has got finalized, but now what we pick up is that it has gone again back to the drawing board. Government was not convinced with what they had proposed as to be given out to home buyers, and they are now wanting to rework the proposal to make it even better. Let's see how soon we see this measure coming up, or this set of measures coming up to give relief to this sector. Back to you.
All right, Timsy, thanks a lot for joining us and giving us all those details. And as we await the government's booster package for the real estate sector, what kind of relief are home buyers and developers seeking from the government? We spoke to Pankaj Bajaj of Eldeco Infra, Sameer Jasuja of Prop Equity, Alok Dheer of Dheer & Dheer Associates, and Abhay Upadhyay of Forum for People's Collective Effort. Here is their wish list.
The liquidity problems are much deeper. The entire NBFC sector has stopped lending. Today, there were media reports that Q on Q, the drop in NBFC sector funding to the real estate builders and home loans is down 40% and 33% respectively. And we are talking about upwards of 1 lakh of crores. So that's the kind of liquidity deficit one is talking about. And if you are saying that there are 3 lakh apartments which are stuck across the country, we are talking about, at a conservative estimate, a funding need of 1.5 lakh crore rupees.
First of all, the major problem today is with respect to projects that are stuck. There are 4.5 lakh units that are stuck, and that problem needs to be resolved first, and that has nothing to do with licensing as such, because licensing have been obtained, structures are ready, and there is no financing available to complete them. The main concern is to get the confidence back of the buyer, of the end user, of the investor, by ensuring that these 4.5 odd lakh units in India get completed.
So far as the builders are concerned, they do not know what may go wrong. It's an unorganized sector, to say the least. And in an unorganized sector, anything can go wrong. So the only way to cure this is you have to do ring fencing and give certain levels of immunities to the builders to take these projects for. So maybe it's a restructuring, maybe it's a lifeline saying that, all right, we are giving you X amount of time. It could be discussed project by project. You could have RERA look into these issues. So you have to come back with a solution.
Government is this time is not in a hurry, and that shows that all kind of proposals which might have come to them, they are considering. So what we need to actually understand is if the child is sick, So unless until you first cure him of his illness, any amount of vitamins or energy tablet is not going to help him. So that is why we are suggesting that, first cure the present illness by giving this stress fund, which will, cure the present illness. All those people who are stuck, they will get relief. A message will go that, ultimately government is there.
All right, that was a whole host of opinion coming in from the real estate sector, but we'll take a short break, come back. The government is working on a new divestment policy. Details when we return.